A very warm welcome to all the students. In the current lecture, we are going to see how regular expressions can be converted to a context-free grammar. And in the later part of the lecture, we are going to see how finite automatas can be converted to equivalent context-free grammars. Okay. Now there is one definite procedure that we use to convert a regular expression to CFG. Let's see the procedure. If say R1 and R2 are regular expressions, then suppose you want to write R1 dot R2. It is written by using a production. S gives S1 dot S2. What is S1 and S2? S1 and S2, they are variables. They are the variables from which the strings represented by regular expression R1 and R2 may be derived. Okay, so whatever strings that you can derive from regular expression R1 and R2, for that, okay, the productions have the left hand side symbol as S1 and S2. And what is S then? S is the start symbol of the new grammar. Okay, so this is how you can represent the concatenation of two regular expressions. Just an example. Okay, suppose I have 0 1 or 1 1. Suppose I have 0 1 or 1 1, and I want to represent this using context-free grammars production. So what I will do, I will say let S gives 0 1. So that means production S gives 0 1. Okay, non-terminal S can give you string 0 1. Okay, I'm sorry, it is not plus, it should be into. I am repeating with the example. Start. Suppose there is a regular expression of type 0 0 1 1. Suppose this is a regular expression. So the string 0 0 and string 1 1 are concatenated. So what I can do, I can have one production S1 that is going to give you 0 0. I can have another production S2 that can give you 1 1. And then to combine these two, I can have a start symbol S, and I can simply say S gives S1 S2. So S1 will give you 0 0, S2 will give you 1 1, and you will get your string back. That is the meaning of this representation. Okay, so we will move to the next one. Now next rule is regarding R1 plus R2. What it says, if you have R1 and R2, two regular expression, then if you want to represent R1 plus R2, it is written as S gives S1 slash S2, S1 or S2, where S1 and S2 are variables from which the strings represented by regular expression R1 and R2 may be derived, and S is the start symbol of the new grammar. For example, now I will take another example. Suppose I want to represent, say 0 1 or 1 1. This is a regular expression. So what I can do, I can say S1 gives 0 1 is one production, then I can say S2 gives 1 1 is the second production, and finally I can say S gives S1 slash S2. That means from the start symbol S, you can either get string only 0 1 or you can get string 1 1. That is the actual meaning of this kind of introduction of this kind of production for R1 plus R2. Okay, now so the first rule was for concatenation, second rule was for plus sign, that is union you can say, and now the third rule, okay, is for clean star. So when the regular expression R star is encountered, a new start symbol S is added and the productions given are added. Okay, and that is this S gives SS1 or null. Okay, please note S gives SS1 or null, where S1 happens to be the start symbol for set of strings that can be derived from R, and S is the start symbol for the new grammar. For example, okay, you have a regular expression. Example, suppose the regular expression that you have is 0 1 star. How will I represent this 0 1 star? So what I will do, S1 S1 be a production such that S1 gives 0 1. So S1 will give you 0 1 devoid of this repetition star. Okay, S1 is going to give you single 0 1. Now this has to be repeated either 0 number of times or infinite number of times. Let us assume how to represent, how to get 0 1 0 1 n number of times 0 1 string. So for that I will introduce another symbol, start symbol S. Okay, and the production will read like this: S gives S S1. So what will happen? Every time S is replaced with SS1, S1 will be S1 will be replaced with 0 1, and you have another scope of calling. For example, if you have a string 0 1 0 1 0 1, and what will happen? You will start with the start symbol and then you will say S S1. Then this S1 you are going to replace it with 0 1, so it will be S01. Again this S, second time you are going to replace S with again SS1. So you will say S S1 followed with 0 1. Then this S1 can be again replaced with 0 1, so that you get string 0 1 0 1, and S will ensure that there is another time 0 1 can be concatenated, and so on, right? So this is how the string 0 1, S1 is a production that represents single 0 1. So this is how the string 0 1 can be repeated n number of times. But also star means what? This can be repeated 0 or more number of times. Now if something has to be repeated 0 number of times, then you should get null string, right? So I write this as S gives SS1 or null. So that means S will replace itself with SS1 as long as more number of 0 1 0 1s are required, and once, like here, 2 0 1s we have got, and now suppose we feel that there are no more 0 1s required, S will be finally replaced with null. Correct? So this is actually the meaning of clean star. So whenever you have a sub expression raised to star, first you ignore this star and entire sub expression you represent using a production, say S1, and then for the repetition you can introduce another start production and say S gives SS1 or null. So repeating this S again and again, it gives you scope of repeating the string 0 1 again and again, or the sub expression again and again. And when S is directly replaced with null, this also gives you scope of calling this 0 number of times. So that's the meaning of 0 or more number of time repetition. Okay. Now fourth, there is also something called as plus, sub expression raised to plus. Okay, so what happens when any sub expression is raised to plus? Okay, so when any sub expression is raised to plus, it simply means that this sub expression can be repeated exactly one number of times or more number of times. So the production that we have derived, that production we have to slightly change. First, devoid of this plus, forget about this repetition, let S1 be the production that represents the inside sub expression 0 1. So S1 gives 0 1, correct? Then we have already seen in the previous example, when I say S gives SS1, it gives a scope for this S1 to repeat itself. Okay, but how many times repetition? Okay, when I say 0 1 raised to plus, it means this thing has to be repeated exactly one or more number of times. So null cannot be a part of it. That's why in place of null over here, I will write S1 only, because what is S1? S1 is going to give you exactly one time 0 1, right? So S can replace itself with at least S1, that is 0 1. So you will never get a string lesser than 0 1. I mean, you will never get a string called as null. At least 0 1, or that 0 1 will be repeated n number of times because of this S. Okay. So that's the meaning of this production, that is S gives SS2 or S2. So the regular expression r raised to plus is encountered, then a new start symbol s is added and the production given below are added. So s gives ss2 or s2. Now this will be more clear when we actually deal with the problem. So without wasting time, let us convert the given regular expression to CFG. Okay. Now very first thing, what is the minimum possible string? Minimum possible string is 0, 1. Now this minimum possible string should be accepted by CFG. That means starting with a particular production, starting with a particular non-terminal C, I should be able to get a string 0, 1. So this production C gives 0, 1. Notice that this C is a capital C, not small c. C gives 0, 1. Okay, this production is going to give you minimum possible string. Okay, simple. Now now we focus on the remaining part of the first half. Okay, there is a sub expression raised to star. So first we are going to ignore raised to star. Okay, and we are going to focus only on 0, 1 or 1, 1. Okay, now how am I going to get 0, 1 or 1, 1? So let production say B gives 0, 1 and let production A gives 1, 1. So B gives 0, 1, A gives 1, 1. So using this particular second rule, R1 plus R2. So I have just told you for regular expression this R1, that is 0, 1, B production is written, and for the regular expression this one 1, 1, A production is written. So we already have for R1 and R2, this is R1, this is R2. For R1 and R2 we have S1 and S2, and then we have to only say plus means S gives S1 or S2. So what we are going to do, we are going to introduce another non-terminal. Okay, say M gives, I can say A slash B. So this particular M is going to either give you A, that is 1, 1, or it is going to give you 0. Agreed? Correct? Now once we have thought over this, now we have to think about star. So we have to think about this third rule. Okay, now which is the non-terminal that represents 1, 1 or 0, 1, the inside part of the sub expression. Okay, devoid of the closure. 1, 1 or 0, 1 is the inside part of the sub expression, devoid of the closure. So which variable represents this? It is variable M. Now in the formula, S1 here represents the regular expression R, devoid of star. So then how do we achieve star? We'll have to introduce another production, and that will be something like a start production in this case, and we will say S gives SS1 or null. So in my case over here, I can introduce another variable called as capital K, and I can say K gives K M or null. So what will happen? This M is going to give you 1, 1 or 0, 1 only once, whereas see here K is going to recursively call itself again and again. So this M, that is 1, 1 or 0, 1, this entire sub expression will be repeated n number of times, and whenever there is no more need, it can be K can be replaced with null. Okay, that means this sub expression, if required, can be repeated 0 number of times only. K can be replaced with null. Fine. So now please note this sub expression, this production C gives 0, 1. Okay, it takes care of the trailing part 0, 1. This is going to production M is going to take care of 1, 1 or 0, 1, and further K production is going to take care of 1, 1 or 0, 1 raised to star. Now the regular expression that we require contains 1, 1 or 0, 1 raised to star as the first part. Okay, this is first part followed with 0, 1. Now which Non-terminal is going to give you 1 1 or 0 1, it is non-terminal k. Which non-terminal is going to give you 0 1 string? Which non-terminal? It is C. Correct? So if I want some non-terminal or some start symbol to represent the entire sub-expression, this is something like this part dot this part. Okay, I will have to introduce another start symbol. So now I will be introducing a start symbol. Let S start symbol gives you K dot C. Okay, therefore the required CFG is S gives KC. This will be the topmost or the start production because S gives KC. Then further K gives KM or null. Agreed? Then M gives A or B. M gives single A or single B. A gives 1 1. B gives A gives 1 1, B gives 0 1. Okay. In fact, since B gives 0 1, okay, C also gives 0 1. You can use the same production, that is C, for representing this also. Okay. What I have done, I have written two production C. C gives 0 1 because I was talking about this 0 1. But also 0 1 string is present here, so I had written another production B gives 0 1. Either you can do this, or a better way is don't introduce a new production called as B. You can use the same C because ultimately that C is going to give you 0 1 string only. No, this will be redundant. Okay, this will be redundancy. So you can use C only. So in that case, B the use of B will not arise. So if you don't want to introduce B, because ultimately they give the same string, if you don't want to introduce B, then M here would have A/C in place of B. That will be the only difference. And this B production you need not write. Understood? Because anyways, both the productions, whether it is C production or B production, gives you the same string 0 1, right? So why to write two times? You can write one. This C itself you can utilize here. You don't have to create another non-terminal doing the same activity, that is giving you string 0 1. Correct? So this is the only one change that will happen. So with that change applied, my final required CFG will have what? M gives A, in place of B I will have C, right? And I will not have to write one extra production, that is B gives 0 1. This B gives 0 1, last one I don't have to write, and I will have to write the last one, C gives 0 1. Understood? So this is how any regular expression can be converted to a context-free grammar. Okay. Finally, don't forget to write this. Therefore, the required CFG is G equal to, okay, and set of non-terminals is S, K, M, A and C. Okay, set of terminal is what? 0 and 1, only two terminals. Start symbol is S. Okay, so this is set of non-terminals N, T, S, and productions. What are the productions? Productions are, one is S gives KC, then K gives KM or null, M gives A or C, A gives 1 1 and C gives 0 1. So these are all the productions. Okay, so this is the grammar. Now we are going to see how to convert a given finite automata to a context-free grammar. This is in fact a very simple thing. Now first step, for each state in finite automata, a non-terminal with the same name as that of the state is introduced. For example, in your finite automata, suppose the states, there are only 3 states, A, B, C. So how many non-terminals will be there in the grammar? 3. And you keep the same name, A, B, C. Understood? Second, the variable corresponding to the initial state, okay, the variable that is corresponding to the initial state will be the start symbol. So for example, A is the initial state of your automata, then the start symbol also will be A. Now for each transition of the type del of A comma A equal to B, that means what? Transition from state A on reading small a, if you go to B. So this is how transition is defined, no? Transition from a particular state A, on reading input A, you go to which state? B. Okay, if this kind of transition is there, so that can be converted to a production by writing like this: A, that is the state name, gives the input A, and B is what? The destination state. So A gives AB, it simply means that from a start state, on reading A, I have reached B. So every transition that is there in the automata, you will have to use this formula and convert it into a production. And fourth, for each transition that leads to a final state, that means from a particular state on reading A, if I go to final state F, okay, an additional production, that is this, is written. What is this production? So whenever you have transition from a particular state on reading A, it goes to final state, this can be converted to production. Just don't write F, you just say A gives A. Okay, you don't have to write F here. Fine. Now quickly we'll see an example. Construct a CFG for finite automata that accepts strings that end with 1. Okay, so this is the finite automata that is given to us. Okay, so let's quickly solve this. First we'll find out, let M be the finite automata. Okay, let G be the required CFG. Okay, so number of states in CFG will be what? Sorry, number of non-terminals in the CFG will be what? Okay, as it is already told you that in the first step, each state in the finite automata, for each state in finite automata, a non-terminal with the same name is introduced. Now, in this automata, there are only 2 states, A and B. That's why you will have only 2 non-terminals. One is A, other one is B. Now, which are the terminal symbols in the CFG? Okay, it is very clear here, 1 and 0. These are the only 2 inputs. So terminal symbols will be only 0 and 1. Now, which is the start symbol? Okay, which is the start state in the automata? A is the start state in the automata. That's why start symbol also will be A, non-terminal A. Now for productions, okay, first we will write the transitions as it is. Now transition from A on reading 0, where does it go? It goes to it goes to A itself. Transition from reading from A on reading 0, A on reading 0, it goes to A on reading 1, it goes to B. So transition A on reading 1, it goes to B, and B, notice that it's a final state. Similarly, transition from state B on reading 0, where does it go? So from state B on reading 0, it goes to A, right? And transition from state B on reading 1, it remains in B, and this is the final state. Okay, now first we will use this formula, step 3. So if the transition is of the type del of a comma a equal to b, then each transition is converted to production of this type using this formula. A gives ab. So okay, production for this first one. Okay, the production for this first transition is a gives 0 a. Similarly, production for the second transition is a gives 1 b. Okay, I am just using the formula. Production for the third transition is b gives 0 a, and for the fourth one it is b gives 1 b. So far we have applied formula for step number 3. Now step number 4 tells you for each transition that leads to the final state. That means from a particular state on reading an input, suppose it goes to the final state, then that transition, for that transition you will have additional production that is written of the type a gives a gives a, and you don't have to write f. Okay. Now are there any such transitions here? Yes. If you consider this transition here, it leads you to the final state b. So along with this production, another production we will have to write, that is a gives 1. Similarly, if you see this production transition here, then that also leads to a final state b. So you will have to introduce another production here, b gives 1. Okay, fine. Therefore the productions are, what are the productions? The first one is a gives 0 1. Okay, a gives 0 1 or 1b, a gives 0 1 or 1b, or a also gives a. So this is one production. Then b gives 0 1 or 1b, or it gives 1. So b also gives 0 1 or 1b or 1. So these are all the possible productions. Therefore the required CFG is G equal to, what are the set of variables? Okay, what are the set of variables where? Now you see the productions and tell me. So set of variables here is capital A, capital B. What are the non-terminals involved in these productions? Only 0 and 1. Which is the start production start symbol? A. Okay, and the productions are a gives 0 1 or 1b or 1. Okay, then one second, a gives a gives 1b or 1. So this is not 0 1, this is 0 a. Here also it is 0 a. By mistake I have written 0 1. It cannot be 0 1. It is 0 a. Okay, 0 a or 1b or 1, and b gives 0 a or 1b or 1. So these are the productions. So this is the required context-free grammar. So this is a very simple procedure how to convert a given context-free grammar, a given finite automata to the context-free grammar.